Hey guys, welcome back, and today I'll be making boneless curry chicken. So to start, I'll be chopping up half of an onion and 3 sprigs of green onion, and I'll be using this as part of the seasoning for the chicken. So here I have 2 pounds of boneless chicken thighs. Now you could also use chicken breasts for this recipe, but I like to use chicken thighs just to minimize the risk of the chicken drying out. Now I've already washed and cleaned the chicken with some lemon juice and vinegar, and we'll start with the seasonings. I'll start with some salt, black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and some all-natural, all-purpose seasoning. I'll add a bit of ginger powder, some dry thyme, and I'll just mix everything together. Now I don't really measure when I'm seasoning, but I'll try to be as accurate as I can, and I'll put the measurements down in the description box below. Oh, I forgot to add in my chicken seasoning, so I'll just add a bit in right now. Oh, it's a little bit more than a bit. Finally, I'll add in the curry powder, and you want to be very generous when you're adding this in. Now just mix everything together, making sure all the chicken pieces are nicely coated. Now you can use gloves for this steps if you don't want any of the curry powder getting on your hands or your fingernails. I just do it with my hands, and I just quickly wash them right after. I wash my hands about 4 times throughout this whole process of seasoning. Now that I'm all done with the dry seasoning, I'll add in the onion that I chopped up before, and I'll also add in about half of the green onion, and I'll save the rest for later. Don't forget to give this video a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel so you never miss a new video. And I'm just gonna add in a bit more curry powder just to darken up the chicken a bit more. Alright, so I'm all done with the seasoning. I'll set this aside for about 30 minutes to 2 hours. You can actually leave this overnight if you like. It just depends on how much of a rush you're in. While the chicken's marinating, I'll cut up my potatoes. I'll use about 4 potatoes that I'll just cut up in little cubes, and then we'll be adding this to the pot about midway through the cooking process. Alright, so you can use a Dutch oven or a deep skillet if you like. For this I'll be using my Dutch pot that I have here. Now I'll be adding in about 2 to 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. And I'll also be adding in 1 tablespoon of the curry powder right into the hot oil. Now I'll let this fry for about 30 seconds and then I'll add in all the chicken pieces. Now I'll add in all the chicken pieces into the pot and I'll let this fry for about 1 minute just so I can get a nice brown crust. We'll stir this around a bit just to flip the chicken on the other side and so that it doesn't stick to the bottom. And just keep stirring it around occasionally for the first 5 minutes that it's in the pot. I'm adding in the rest of the onions that were left in the seasoning bowl. Now once the chicken is brown, I'm going to add a bit of water into the same bowl that we seasoned the chicken in, and then I'll add that into the pot. I'll cover the pot and turn the heat down to medium and let the chicken cook for about 5 minutes. Five minutes is past, and as you can see, the chicken has sprung its own water and it's already starting to thicken. Now at this point, I'll add in the potatoes that I had cut up earlier. And I'm just going to add in a bit more hot water, just enough just to cover the chicken. That way the potatoes have enough moisture to cook in. Now we'll cover it back up and let it cook for another 10 minutes. During that time, I'll just occasionally check the pot and give it a stir so that nothing's sticking to the bottom. So another 10 minutes have gone by, and as you can see, there's still a bit of water left in the pot, so I'll let this cook down a little bit longer. At this point, I'll just add in a bit of the green onions that I had saved earlier and let that simmer down into the gravy. I'll give it a good stir, make sure nothing's sticking, and let this cook for another 10 minutes. Alright, so this has been cooking for about 30 minutes now. As you can see, the gravy has thickened and the potatoes are nicely cooked. We'll just add a little bit of hot sauce at this point. I don't like to add too much because my kids don't really like anything too spicy, but you can add as much as you like. So I'm just going to add whatever green onion I have left over. I'll turn the heat on low and just let this simmer for about another 5 minutes. And then I'll come back to it. And the curry chicken is all done. So we'll just plate and pair this with some white rice and some vegetables. and enjoy. Thanks for tuning in, and join me next time on Mama's Easy Kitchen.